Jeremy, what's the secrets, or is the secrets as you see them, to an effective operator in government communications?
I think it's keeping the lines of communication open, certainly being accessible and available, understanding what your target is when you start each day, what you're hoping to achieve individually and as a team, and almost doing a little check through the day whether you're hitting those targets. A bit like running a TV newsroom, where you start the day with a fairly clean slate and try and work out what you see at the start of the day as being the bulletin at 6 o'clock. And of course the day evolves and changes. Things happen, stories break, and you've got to be flexible enough to adjust to fit that in your normal day. So yeah, being targeted but being flexible enough to go with the flow as the day evolves and things change.
That's the operational side of things, but what skills do people need to be effective communicators?
I think it's the ability to listen, to understand what the issues are, to be able to then articulate that to a broad audience or to a varied audience. Sometimes it might be technical matters where you need to speak to through the media potentially, or in a public forum to a group of individuals who have a great deal of technical knowledge. So knowing what your audience is and being able to shape your message to that audience.
What are some of the challenges of communicating in government?
I think they're multi-layered. You work in an environment that's bureaucratic, so you're writing briefs that they need a certain amount of that sort of public service flavour about it. You're also working at the same time in our field in an area where you need easy to understand messages. So you can be working on a couple of things at once that require quite different styles in terms of writing and messaging and communicating, and also in communications there's little doubt there's a watchful eye of the politics of what you're doing, so you need to be mindful and respectful that there's a fine line to tread in terms of working for a government, but understanding also you're a bureaucrat first and foremost, and staying on the right side of that line in the sand.
You describe an environment that perhaps could be frustrating for some people. How do you advise people who are working in government communications to manage their potential frustrations?
I think it's about knowing what you want to achieve, understanding what you want to achieve and what your organisation's goals are, and working to those goals, and recognising, I guess, from the outset that's really what you're aiming for each and every day to achieve the goals of your organisation. Working for a government to understand what your government's goals are, and being very targeted and focused and strategic, heading for those goals.
When you're looking to recruit people into your teams, what are some of the personal qualities as well as the technical qualities that you're looking for?
Ideally, someone who'll work well in a team environment. We work in this government in very small teams, and you really need people who understand the value of that teamwork, that you achieve more as a small, united, focused team than you do as a group of individuals. So looking for that sort of style of person. Someone who's open about their communications, someone who's a good listener and certainly willing to learn, and someone who's a little bit goal focused, that they want to achieve not just the daily goals, but perhaps some of the big picture stuff and some of the achievements, and that could be a long-term vision like the centenary that some people started working on many years ago, and it's hard to maintain that focus and that drive and energy and enthusiasm for several years for something that was so distant when many of us started on that journey.
You've placed an emphasis on listening. Why is it that listening is so important?
I think that's the true essence of communications. If you're not listening, you're never learning. And you're not understanding what people are wanting to hear. So, communication's a two-way thing, and I think often as communicators we think about the message out, but we're not necessarily always listening about the message in and what people are trying to ask or tell you. So, so I think putting a little bit more emphasis on listening, I think is very important.
Jeremy Lasek, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.